Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Surprise in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1905, Finish It Friday. Woohoo! Excuse me. Hang on. Trying to get rid of that frog in the throat. Excuse me. So it's the end of the week. We're on Finish It Friday, where we look at what making sure that the projects for the week are done, making sure our desk is cleared and everything else. I have to tell you, this week has been awesome. Today particularly has been amazing, and this is why. First of all, got a little something caught in the throat there. First of all, last night I was looking at the weather forecast for today, and it said we had an 88% chance of rain and thunderstorms today. And I was like, yes, we need the rain. I love it when it rains. I want to go out and dance in the rain unless there's any thunder or lightning around. And I just love the smell of the rain. I just love it when it rains. And then, of course, afterwards, you get those amazing smells that just alert all your senses, lifts the soul, and it's just, love that. So anyway, we got up this morning and they said the rain was going to start around 7 o'clock. So I thought, okay, we need to get out early so we can get back before 7 o'clock, before the predicted rain starts. We opened the door. It's before sunrise when we go out this morning. So we were out before 6:30 because I think the sunrise this morning was just after 6:30. And it's getting later in the day. So we were out in that pre-dawn time just before the sun rises and things. And I get out and I open up the door and walk out, and this amazing smell just washes over me. It had been raining. It had already rained. And I was sort of like, but it's not meant to start till 7 o'clock. It's only 6:30, 6:30. This is not right. It's got to come later on so I can go dance in the rain. But all around you had that wet earth smell, the wet grass smell. It just smelled amazing. It was just this incredible aromas that you could just smell, and you could feel the dampness in the air, and it was very refreshing and very cleansing and things like that. Then we're walking down the way to the park that's near our place that we go walking in every day. And which reminds me, hang on, I'm going to write down about the snake. Okay, just writing myself a little note here. We walk down the path towards the park. I look at, and we're heading west. I look up, there is the full moon. There's all these clouds around it, and these clouds are just gliding across in front of the full moon, because last night was a full moon. And I was like, that looks amazing. So I took several shots of it and got some with the clouds that come with the full moon filtering through and that sort of stuff. But if you look at my Facebook page today, you'll see the one that I ended up posting, which showed the full moon with the clouds around it. It's really cool. And there were rain clouds, and I was like, the rain's moving away. Come back, come back, come back. So we carry on walking, and I'm like looking up at the sky over the side there, and I'm like, okay, it's starting to get the oranges and the pinks going. We're starting to see the sunrise colors coming through with the sun on the clouds. And so I said to Zephy, we've got to get to our sunrise spot. And so she kind of knew what that meant. So she picked up the pace. We actually had a really good fast-paced walk today and this evening. We've already been for our walk this evening. And I'll tell you why in a minute. And we get to our favorite sunspot where it's just like grass all this way, the road's over here, and you just have a clear view. And it's and on the grass area, they have part of the frisbee golf or the disc golf, whatever they call it. It's very interesting talking to frisbee golfers or disc golfers, because they use the exact same term as you use in regular golf when you swing a club. Anyway, sidetracking. And we got there, and the sun had broken above the horizon, and all that. And we've got a couple of really great shots. One of them's posted on the Facebook page today, and you'll see a couple of disc golfers standing there on the pad, getting ready picking out their next disc that they're going to throw, because they're on the tee, where they're standing as a tee. And if you look over to the left of the photograph, you can see the frame of the disc golf, and that's the hole they just finished. And now they're standing on the tee, ready to tee off to the next hole. But anyway, so got that great shot, and it's like, yes. And so we wandered on home. We stopped off and picked up the mail from the mailbox that's here at the house, and because it's one of those mailbox bank things, and got home and got inside. And when I get home, these few mornings, because it's been so beautiful in the mornings, is that I will leave the front door open, and I put Zephy's this bed here, out there by the screen door. It's a metal security screen door. And so she just lays there the whole time. And usually around lunchtime, I've got to close it because it's starting to get warm in the house. Today, I turned the AC off for the first time since April. but April was when we started using the AC, and today I turned it off for the first time. I was like, yes, it was going to be very mild today. It was very low temperatures today because of the rain that was supposed to come through. We've got a 8-foot, 10-foot wide porch out there, and then we've got the indent when the door is as well. So she's pretty well protected from the rain if it started raining. But we had that door open all day, except for the 30 minutes that I had to go to my mail place to pick up my mail and then come home again. Then the door went back open. It stayed open until we went for our walk this evening. So it was a beautiful start, an awesome start to the day. I mean, I just felt so alive and so blessed to be in that moment. And for some reason, I'm not the world's greatest photographer, but sometimes when I press the button on this thing, it takes a really good picture. And I got some great shots today with the full moon and the sun rising this morning. So I was quite chuffed to be able to share those on my Facebook page today. So if you want to see them, go over to my Facebook page. And so why did we go for a walk in the daylight? Well, one, it was cool enough to do so, like I said, and we were out there walking, and I'm like, jeepers, I almost need a sweatshirt on. It was cool enough out there tonight with the breeze that was blowing that I almost needed to have it. In fact, I was sort of like, maybe I should have put a sweatshirt on because I had like little goosebumps going up my arms because it was so cold. And I was thinking, man, but Zeffie was just like, this is fantastic. And she was like full of energy. On her evening walk, she's just sort of like usually a little sluggish because it's usually very warm when we go for walks. And I don't feel like walking. She doesn't feel like walking. But tonight we were like, boom. We were like fast-paced walking. And it was awesome. I tell you, it's awesome when it gets colder because she gets a pep in her step and she's like, let's go for a walk. We're going to stay out here. But what happened last night, that was one of the decisions that we made to do the walk earlier this evening while it was still daylight. One, I'm switching her to doing it before we do the podcast anyway because of the sun setting around 5:30ish. I think it's around 5:30 the sun sets. One of the reasons and that's one of the things I like to walk in the daylight. Last night we were in the dark walking after the podcast, and they've got these low bushes that probably about this high, and they're not that high. They're just low and they spread out wide. And when we're walking along the path, on one side there's grass for the park, and on the other side there's these gravel gardens which have these low bushes in them and everything else. We're walking home last night, and Zeffie was at heel on my left side, which is usually where she walks at heel. And we're just walking along quietly and minding our own business, and we go past one of these low bushes, and the next thing I know, Zeffie's jumped, I've jumped, my heart rate is shot up through the thing, and we hear this hissing noise. It kind of sounded like a cat when they hiss, but I wasn't sure what it was. And I had the flashlight in my hand, and I put it straight to the bush, couldn't see a thing. So then I'm like looking all around for this thing, and I've meanwhile pulled Zeffie away from the bush because I've got no idea. Looking up in the trees to make sure, was there a cat up there or something like that? Because it really did sound like a cat hissing. But there was a rustle of the bush and with this hissing noise, and I checked and I pulled Zeffie away from that bush across onto the grass area, and then I turned around so I could put the flashlight on that side of it because it was complete darkness last night, and shined the light on her left side and checked her over. No signs of any bites or any attacks or scratches or anything else, for which I was extremely grateful for. My heart's still going, blah, 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 blah. And Zeffie is wanting to go back over that bush. I'm like, no. I don't know if it was a snake that suddenly put its head. I don't know what it was. We just think it might have been a snake with the hissing and how quickly it came out and disappeared again. But what I think that saved us and saved Zeffie from getting bit is that she's very quick with her reactions. She hears a noise and she reacts if she knows if it's a danger sound. There's been times when we've been walking and she will jump, and then the water thingies start going off because she's heard the water coming through the pipes and pushing the air ahead of it. This one last night, she probably heard whatever it was in that bush moving before it did the hissing noise, which was striking out. And so she was able to jump out of the way. And when she was jumping, because she was in heel, I had her on a short leash, she was able to turn me away. So I was out of danger as well. Very, very quick dog. Very thankful for her speed and her awesome hearing ability. So that was kind of a bit of a shake up last night. And I'm sort of like, and we're walking along there tonight, and we're going past, and it's on the right-hand side. So Zeffie's on my left, it's on the right. And I'm like thinking, yeah, we're not walking past that bush again tonight, even if it is daylight. Zeffie wanted to go over to that bush this morning, tonight, because we walk a different route in the mornings than we do in the evenings. And so we're on the evening route. And as we're walking down, we get close to this thing, and she's like slowing down, and like, even though she's have been fast paced since then. She starts slowing down and looking over at this bush like she wants to go up to and investigate. And I'm like, no, keep walking. She was like, okay, Ma, and carried on walking. So yeah, that was a little scary last night. And then we had bumped into our neighbors who became grandparents 4 weeks ago, and so was able to stop and talk with them. And one of their daughters was the one who's the new aunt was there as well. So we got to talk with them for a little bit and told them about this, because they sometimes go out at night. And I just said, look, if you go that way, just watch for that bush, and told them which one it was and all that sort of thing. And this is what happened. We don't know if it was a snake. We couldn't see it. We got no idea what was in that bush that made that noise, that made Zeffie jump as bad as she did, as big as she did. But my heart was still racing by the time we got to their place, like 5 minutes later. It was a scary experience. But once we got home, I checked her over again. Everything's fine. I've been keeping a close eye on her, and she's just been acting normal. We went out for our walk this morning. She was like, oh, yes, let's go. She was energized this morning. This evening when we got outside, she's like, oh, we're outside, we're walking. It's a great temperature. We can walk faster. So the AC is still off. I haven't turned it on. We may turn it on overnight to get it down a little cooler, because I like cooler temperatures in the evenings, and it's up a little bit right now. It's not close, and the temperature I have the house at during the day when I have the AC on, the house temperature currently is nowhere near what we have it set to come on during the day when the AC is on. So that's a good thing. Then last night I got to sit down and do some more of my AI learning programs, and I learned about one called HeyGen, HEYGEN. This one is it will create videos for you with avatars, either using you as an avatar, or you get to pick one or create one digital avatar. And this was it was really cool learning about this. And I'm going to give it a try this weekend and see how it goes, because I'm curious to see if it'll pick up a Kiwi accent, or if it can do a Kiwi accent. According to an article I read a few years ago that were talking to voice coaches who do coaching for actors and actors for doing different accents and things like that. They said the New Zealand accent was the hardest one to imitate, to train people to do. And all the movies I have seen where they've had American actors playing New Zealander roles at New Zealand, doing true life things, and they're having to take on a New Zealand role of a New Zealander, it has been like they ain't nowhere close to doing a Kiwi accent. Quite often it ends up sounding Australian. So it's kind of funny. But anyway, so I'm curious to see how that goes with the New Zealand accent. But the HeyGen is you use digital avatars. It's designed for marketers, educators, content creators, where you create your avatar in there, whether it's and you can start off with recording your own video, just a short video, so it picks up your tone of voice, your speech pattern, your pace, that sort of stuff, and then it can create an avatar from that, or you can have it digitally create an avatar, and then you just type in the text that you want it to say. You type in the script, and so then you go to something like ChatGPT or what's the other one, Jasper, or one of those where you can get them to create your or Bard, all those ones that do you can say, this is what I want to say, now make it look pretty. And we're going to be doing a video, so we need this to be spoken text and blah, 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 blah. And you can customize the appearance of the avatar. You can customize the voice, the delivery style to how you want your message delivered based on the audience you are delivering it to. So you could have 4 different videos that are all exactly the same kind of wording, but the appearance of the avatar and the tone, the voice, the tone, the pace and everything could be very different based on the audience that those 4 different pieces are going to be are designed for. So I thought that was a pretty cool idea. So I'm going to play with that this week. I'm curious to play with that this weekend. But it was really cool. If you've got a group of high-end business people, you're going to have an avatar that speaks to them in their language and in their way. If you're talking to other content creators, that's a different tone of voice that you use with them. If you're doing a presentation, again, a different tone of voice. And I actually have a client that I'm going to try this out for, because she was wanting to create some content. I said, well, do you have the scripts done? And she was concerned about, the time that it would take her to record them. And I said, well, do you have the scripts done? She said, like, not really. Why? And I said, well, if you do the scripts, I'll create the videos. And she looks at me and goes, why? Is this using AI? So we may end up trying that one as well. So kind of excited about that. I was like, oh, I like this one, because now all I need to do is create the avatars and then give them the scripts and they'll go create the video. Done. Just like that. But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I'm curious to see what good quality it has and everything else. So that was another project. That's an ongoing project because I'm learning different AI tools each day, and also doing an in-depth AI class as well on different programs. So I've got the 28-day challenge, which is learning a different program a day, and they're only like 20 to 30-minute classes, online, self-paced. And then based on my requirements that I put in when I enrolled in the course, it then created an in-depth class for me, where I have these different workshops that I go through, and I just start at number 1 and work my way through, and it takes me through some of the different programs that you can, AI tools that you can use, but more in depth, actually, because the 28-day one is just a 20 to 30-minute like introduction on how you use this AI. The other class may take, we need to pull this one over here because this is part of what I said I'm going to be using AI for, and let's go more in depth. So it's kind of cool. I get to do a little bit of both. So that's my thing for this week. And another thing an ongoing thing on my list for this week, which I still haven't finished, is getting in contact with international movers. I have contacted them all. I had one guy bring a quote back, sent me a quote today, and I looked at it, and he listed the items down below, and I sent it back to him and said, you've missed off over half of the list that I sent you. Here is the list again. Please redo the quote. So we will see what he comes back with, because he had like 39, nine categories and 39 items, I think it was. And I'm just sort of like, okay, on my list, I know that I have, and I've probably overestimated the number of boxes, but I want to go for, I want to get them in there, because if I go up to 30, I've got 30, I put there 30 1.5 cubic foot boxes full of books. Now, I know I'm not going to have 30 of them, because I'm going to be doing a lot of paring down between now and then, and getting rid of some books and things like that. So I know there's not going to be 30, but I thought max would be 30. And then in my DVDs, I think I put 8 boxes, and I know it's not going to be near 8 boxes. It's probably going to be like 4 or 5. But I just wanted to go max in case I miscalculated. And so he had on there, 39 items, and he only had 10 of the 1.5 cubic feet boxes. And I'm like, there's 30 of them, plus the DVD ones. So, and he had put the buffet as 2 separate pieces. I said it's one piece, and the measurements are and I actually had the actual measurements in the inventory list. So where I could get measurements for, I put measurements in. So I thought they would take those into account, so they would know what sort of boxes they would need and things like that. So, and a lot of them keep saying, we're trying to call you on the phone and you're not answering. I said, that's because during the day I have my do not disturb on, because of my work schedule right now. I can't be spending all day on the phone and being interrupted, because there's times that I am in a zone and I need to stay in that zone to get stuff done, and I want it uninterrupted. I said, there's only certain times throughout the day where I will have my phone actually on. I said, I have a do not disturb on, and the only time I turn the do not disturb on is if I'm expecting a call from someone. So if you want to talk to me on the phone, we're going to have to set up the time beforehand so that I know to turn my do not disturb on at that time to talk to you. This is what I've basically been telling them. So I need my focus time. I cannot be distracted by phone calls. And the reason I had to do this was because all of a sudden, my phone just started going like crazy. I was getting 30 to 40 to 50 phone calls a day, all robocalls, telemarketers, and the whole kit and caboodle. I'm like, enough of this. So I put my focus on, I have certain numbers that are allowed to come through the do not disturb. So if you're a friend and you get diverted to voicemail, it means that you're not on the do not disturb. And I apologize, because I don't remember if I've got somebody on do not disturb or not. And when I hear them, their voicemail, I'm sort of like, oh yeah, I better put them on the can break through the do not disturb thing. So anyway, that's it for that. So that's my finish at Friday. I've got a lot of projects done this week. And I updated on my Amazon storefront. I updated my genealogy thing today. I put some new stuff in there as well. I'm going to start doing like a holiday. I think I'm going to do a holiday storefront for gift ideas, but the genealogy one has a lot of different gift ideas in there anyway. And so I'm going to put some more stuff in there today into the Amazon storefront. And you can go to my Family Tree, Your Family Tree Detective Facebook page, and the information is there to get to the genealogy thing. I might have put it on my own profile as well. I can't remember if I did or not. Anyway, it's chocolate time. I have to tell you about the chocolate. So last night we did the chocolate with the hazelnuts. That was the crunchy version of the chocolate cream, hazelnut cream, which is better than Nutella. And I usually have half a bar here while I'm talking with you. Well, by the time it gets to the kitchen, there's usually half a bar left, and that I get to eat the next morning with my morning cup of tea. That hazelnut bar did not make it out of the office yesterday. It was gone before I even got up to take my choc box. When I got up to take this back to put it in the fridge, that hazelnut bar was gone. It was so good. So let's see what we're looking at tonight. See, still got the smooth. So this was the smooth. Last night's one was the crunchy version of this. It was really good. I'm just going to do this tonight. Ooh, this one looks like it's got pistachios in it. So we're going to try one of the square ones tonight. Yeah, we're going to try this one tonight. I just dug in. See, this is how much I got left. There's another layer underneath this layer. So I've been very good with keeping my chocolate cream back in there. With not. There's times I like open the fridge and I see this box sitting there. I'm like, ooh, I want to go try another. And I was like, no, you have to do it tonight on the podcast. So we're going after this one, which looks like it might be pistachios. So let's have a look here. That's right. We're going to turn this way to get into the right light. Discover the delight of Alka chocolate with Antep pistachio squares 65 grams. Whether you're a youngster or a homemaker or a professional, chocolate holds a special place in the world of treats. Absolutely. It's an essential food group. That's me, a chocoholic, telling you. Chocolate's an essential food group. It should be there on the pyramid down the bottom. On the bottom, you know, the food pyramid, they should have a separate bar that goes across the bottom just for chocolate. Anyway, where do we get to? The irresistible blend of exquisite chocolate, creamy milk, and premium Antep pistachios, probably Antep. Probably messing up the pronunciation of that. It's A-N-T-E-P. Creates a treat you can't miss. Experience the joy of every chocolate bite, enriched by the satisfying crunch of pistachio pieces. Ooh, that sounds good. All right, let's open this puppy. Okay, so that's the wrapper all undone, and now we've got, oh, we're getting serious. We've got the foil wrap inside here. Let's see, do I unwrap it or do I have to rip it open? Sometimes some of them just like fold it over and you don't actually have to unwrap it, but this one, we're going to have to rip into it. Okay, so notice how it's gone white in here. That's perfectly fine. It just means that it slightly got melted, slightly got a little heat on it, and then it was put into the refrigerator, and you can see it on the back as well. So if you get chocolate that's like this with this lightened thing, it just means it's been in the heat. It just means it's been in the heat and then put into a refrigerator. That's all it means. It's not chocolate going bad. All right. So we've got it's got little raised bits here. This is where I broke it off. So you got the little raised squares and things. So, oops. Oh, heck. Can't leave any chocolate on the desk. That would be bad. I like this. Not overly. This is one thing I like about the Turkish chocolate. The Turkish chocolate. It's a lot of their chocolate that we've had, like all except for one, has not been overly sweet. I mean, even the white chocolate bar that I thought would be really sweet wasn't. It was, what was the name of that one that we did the first night? I'm trying to remember the name of the one that we did the first night. Oh, the pico with the Rice Krispies in there. That was very sweet. No, that wasn't the one. I can't remember the really. I should have written on here what the sweet one was. Oh, here it was. The coconut. Coconut. It was wafer, chocolate, and hazelnuts. That one was very, very sweet because it says you can enjoy this tasty wafer with your coffee or tea breaks. And that's why I remembered having it with a cup of tea took away a lot of the sweetness with it. So if you took a bite of it and then followed it with a sip of tea, it helped reduce the sweetness in it. But this is good. I'm not a big pistachio fan, but it's good. I like this one. I got 3 rows there. We've done our walk for the evening, so I can't do any after walk. But, oops, little bits of chocolate. So this one with the pistachio pieces, very good. Nice balance, not sweet. Well, very balanced sweetness. It is not overly sweet. It's perfectly sweetened. A perfect balance of the sweetness. Oh, that's all the ingredients. I got another leaflet in there with the ingredients in English. But this little cake of chocolate here, it does have the creaminess that they mentioned. It is not sweet, but it's not bitter. It's actually perfectly balanced between the pistachios, the chocolate, and the sweetness. It's a perfect balance. So that's another one that's in our little Choco Bliss box. If you want to grab it, scan the QR code up here. We'll take you right to the page. And right now, I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to have another, because there's still 3 rows left on here, as you can see by the indentations of the thing. So am I going to have 2 rows tonight, or am I going to make myself pace it throughout the day tomorrow? I do have to go over to the RV tomorrow and clean all that and clean that out. I'm going to. My goal is to have the RV on the market by Sunday, ready for sale on Sunday. So I have to go. I've still got some stuff that's in the RV, so I will be over there tomorrow. These nice cooler temperatures coming in, and I'm gonna. I forgot to put this back. God, I can't forget to put this back. So tomorrow will be RV day, working in the RV, and I've still got chocolate on my desk. Little flaky bits. So tomorrow I'll be working on the RV, because I still have stuff in there. Not a lot of stuff left, I don't think. I think I have a lot of stuff. I'm going to give it a good dusting. I can't vacuum it because I have no power. I do have a power source at the store, but they only allow you to use the power thing for the battery trickler. They won't let you use it. If you use it for anything else, they come down on you hard, which is fair enough because they're not there to provide cleaning services and all that. My generator I can't use because it backs up the exhaust into the RV. So, what else? Yeah. So tomorrow that's my goal, is to get that emptied out, and I've got a little bit of cleaning to do in there, especially dusting, because it's probably going to be very dusty since it's been sitting for a while. And definitely when I'm over there, I'm going to open up the windows and let the whole thing just air out, have all the blinds up, open the windows, and just let it air out. I think it's supposed to be breezy again tomorrow. I know it's supposed to be another nice, cold, cooler day. Probably like today. Let's see. What's tomorrow? Oh, today's high was 74 degrees Fahrenheit. And tomorrow's meant to be 75 degrees Fahrenheit. But I could go over there first thing in the morning after we do our morning walk, have breakfast, go over there. And if I'm done by 11 o'clock, it'll only be 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So, but I only wanted to spend 2 hours over there. I won't leave Zeffie alone any longer than that. So she will be a little longer than 2 hours tomorrow because because I got drive time down there is about 15, no, not even that, about 10 minutes to get there, which is really cool. That's why I chose the place. Plus they had really, really good rates. 10 minutes to get there, and then a couple of hours clearing it out, cleaning it, getting it out of the stall into the big area, the open area they have at the back, and setting it up, doing some photographs. I actually found there, somebody asked me about it yesterday, what it was, and I actually found the original video that I took before I purchased Sparkles. So they called me up and said, oh, we've got this RV that's come in. It's in your price range, and it's basically what you've been looking for. You know, do you want to come over and see it? So I said, okay. And so they left me in there to have a look around and all that. So while they did that, I did a video through the thing, walking it through, and so I could send the video to my mum and dad so they could have a look at it and see and get their opinion on it. And there's a few things I didn't show in that video. So when I sent the video to my friend, who is somebody who may be interested in it, I said, Josie, oh, this is missing off the video, because at the time I didn't know that these were available. So, but I said I'll get some updated photographs, and because I didn't see what it looked like outside of the video. It was only on the inside. It wasn't of the outside. No, there wasn't any outside stuff on. No, there wasn't, because they were working on it. But I did take photos on the outside later on that had the awnings open, had the sides open, had the awning out, and all of that sort of thing as well. So kind of getting really excited, because I have to say, everything is just starting to come together, and it is awesome. I am on this, of course, still listening to the law of attraction thing, and they're talking about high vibes and all of that, and keeping that going. And I'm just sort of like, I really am in a high vibe place right now, and it is awesome. I'm not letting anything bring me down. You know, the thing with the mover today, when he left off, I just said, hey, look, here's the list again. Can you please redo the quote, because you've left off over half of what I sent the first time. So can you please redo the quote? And this is why you can't get hold of me on the phone, why you have to leave voice messages. So we need to set up a time, because I only work on time. When it comes to phones, there's only certain people that can get hold of me any time of the day or night. Everybody else, you got to schedule a time. So with that, I'm out of here. With an itchy nose. What do itchy noses mean? Anyway, I'm out of here. Go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening, when I will give you an update on what's happening with Sparkles. And what else are we doing tomorrow, Zeffy? I think that's it. Sparkles is the main thing on the list. And then there's just the regular household chore stuff like laundry and vacuuming and dusting and all that icky stuff that you have to do. So anyway, go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening, and we'll catch you guys back here tomorrow evening at